I had literally the most life-changing dream last night. And I hope I can explain this well enough because I think it literally is a principle that can change everybody's life. Or at minimum, your perspective to help you change your life. I found myself in front of this tree and I understood that this tree was all of the things that I knew were acutely wrong with my life, the things that I just want to fix. And I stood there looking at the tree trunk and all of the branches and I was like, these are all the things that I have to fix. But underneath, I could see where I could dive down like into water underneath the tree. It was a dream. It doesn't have to make sense. But there were all these roots and I knew that if I dove down into those roots, that I would be able to understand the tree better. But there was somebody there warning me that going through those roots would dramatically change everything about the tree when I'm on the other side. Like there was like a dive through to the other side. And that I would never be able to look at the tree the same again. And I didn't quite understand that. So I dove down in through the branches. And as I went through the branches, everything went from like black and white to color. Like, and the more that I dove through, the more that I swam through, I started to gain all of this understanding and wisdom and knowledge. And I popped out on the other side and everything was like super Technicolor land. And I turned around and I looked at the tree and it was just these majestic, beautiful colors. And when I was on the other side of the tree, all of those things that I saw, I was thinking, how can I fix those? But on the other side of the tree, I saw that there was a lesson in every one of them. I moved from wanting to change everything to being thankful that those things were there so that I could learn something, that I could grow. And as I looked down into the root system that I had just dove out underneath, I could hear all of the reasons that all of those things happened, because the tree, very much like in reality, is a symptom of what's going on underneath the ground. A healthy trunk, healthy branches, healthy fruit all tell you that there's a healthy root system. And an unhealthy tree trunk, unhealthy branches, and terrible fruit tell you that there's a problem in the root system. So when you're unaware of the problems in the root system, then it just looks like you have a tree full of troubles. You don't realize that those symptoms are pointing towards where the actual problem is. Where on the other side, you're thankful for all those symptoms because they pointed you towards the place that you were able to heal. Think of it like when you have a virus of some kind. You have a whole bunch of symptoms. Well, the symptoms aren't the actual problem. The symptoms are the way that your body is trying to fight off the actual problem, which is the virus. The symptoms aren't pleasant. The symptoms are not fun. However, those symptoms are directing you towards your body having a virus and telling you, we need support right now so that we can fight off this virus. And it's so similar with the troubles in our lives, going back to this tree idea, that all of those symptoms that we see above surface are actually telling us things that we can be digging down within ourselves to grow in character. I actually woke up right after this dream and I was like, Lord, don't let me forget this dream. This dream needs to be engraved into my memory. And let me tell you, it's like engraved. Like I can close my eyes and relive it because I'm so thankful for the perspective. Now, the hardest part of this realization of realizing that everything you're seeing is a symptom is knowing that the way that people are treating you, the struggles that you see in life, and whatever else, all of that is a symptom of a broken root system. And what is the hardest part to see when you look at a tree? It's the roots, because they're underground. It takes work to be able to get in there. Even just to simply pour water onto the roots, it has to filter through all the dirt to get there. Sometimes it's not simple to dig down to those places. And it's also not our job to fix unhealthy trees. What we do need to do is make sure that we're not sharing root systems with unhealthy people because they're going to draw nutrients out of us. So often when we are arguing with somebody else, it is our symptoms combating their symptoms. When it should be our root system and their root system trying to figure out how to share ground. There's only one root system that we can fix, and that's our own. As long as we're not distracted by the tree, or we're allowing the things that we can see on the tree to point us towards the roots. And by us having that healthy behavior, our hope can be that the people that are surrounded by us can work on their root system as well. But we have to acknowledge that that's not our job. Our job is our roots. And our roots run deep. I was actually thinking the other day about epigenetics and tracing backwards some of the generational things that have followed my family for generations. And it's so interesting how a very similar situation has popped up in every single generation when the person who it's popped up with has been the person who was actually trying to fix it and then did nearly the same thing. So going back to this dream made me realize that the way to make sure that that does not go on to my children and continue to feed through is that I need to be able to trim that root. I need to work on that root in myself so that it no longer continues on. Because where the root grows and the trunk grows and the branch grows and the fruit forms, the seed falls, and that seed becomes a new root system that carries the memories of the other one. And every single one of us have different above ground tree problems and below ground root problems. But if we step back from the tree problem and look at the root problems and start to be able to cultivate and create healthier ground for that, that is when we're going to start to see the change in our trees. That's when we're going to start to see healthier fruit. What kind of good would happen in this world if we just all worked on our root system? Because that healthy root system can ensure that we have a healthy tree trunk and healthy branches that create shade for the ones that are growing underneath us. And now I would like to go back to sleep and go back into that dream. I can't because I have to get up for church, but I would like to.